27 RB White Hawk by Jayco here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. If you are looking for a gorgeous half-ton towable couples ultralight with just a knockout set of storage, huge rear bathroom, and I mean just looks that could kill, well, you may have just found the right one right here. With the slide closed, this one is fully accessible. And that is thanks really largely to the bedroom door that we'll see in a second. You can get up through the entertainment area if you need to. You can get to the fridge. It is a little tight here, but especially with the table down, it's not terribly hard to get around. Or you could simply stow the table, say like on top of the bed, or like strap it down. Now what is nice is the bathroom is just obviously very easy to access. But again, what makes this thing fully accessible is the fact that you can just slide up here in the bedroom, and you have full access to the bedroom up here. What I really like about this one is the ultra duality between this and the 29BH White Hawk. From the entry door forward, they're identical. Now, you know, two different White Hawks might have different decors or different equipment or something like that, but the layout's the same. And it's a little bit different from what you typically see out there. It is certainly comparable to a lot of other models that we have here at Haylett RV, but it is unique in its approach and application of this layout design. The way that they've moved and flip-flopped the kitchen and the entertainment center here are awesome. You got to see how functional they are with the slide closed. But what I do like is that if people bop in and out of the trailer, they're not constantly walking past the entertainment center and getting in your way. Now the fireplace down there is an optional piece of hardware. It looks a lot prettier than that. It ships with the little like LED log crystal thing or whatever, you know, in that enclosure. We set that up for you when we get those pre-prepped. Now, we've applied theater seating here because it's right next to the entertainment center, so it gives you really good entertainment options. And I've said it on all my White Hawks, but I mean, I am in love with the peanut butter chocolate decor we got going on here. It just looks killer. LED accent lights above and below the slide. You'll find that below the dinette bench ends, as well as the sofa, whether it's a hide-a-bed, a theater seat, whatever. Apologies if you see some frosty breath sneak in front of the camera from time to time. It may fiddle with the focus from time to time, because the camera kind of is like, oh, I don't know what to focus on. It's cold, and you know, I'm trying to do my best to get out here and give you this information. We'll come back to the kitchen. Let's pop up front. That is a removable pontoon-style armrest, by the way, so if you're looking for more of a love seat than a theater, you can do that. Now, the little White Hawk detail stuff I love, like this little latch right here. That is so that when you slide close this big extra wide bedroom entry door, you can actually latch it so that you do maintain bedroom privacy up front. That is a 60 by 80 true queen, so normal queen sheets will fit that. And if you look over here at their closets, you see that yes, we're definitely hanging closets, but then you're like, how can I hang anything with a shelf in there? Well, that's removable. So you can pull that out if you want to. I think all of their floor plans definitely, other than the Murphy beds, really enjoy that optional front cap. We tend not to put the optional front cap on the Murphy beds because during the day, the bed blocks the window, and at night, you're going to have the shade down, so what good is that? Now, little detail stuff up here. There are bedside stands with outlets, but there's also these little corner cubbies back there. They don't have outlets or anything back there. It's just a little corner spot to put things. I do like the opposing breeze windows, and I love how tall this window is. One of the problems I've noticed a lot of RVs have is the bedroom windows are always mounted way up here. Well, if you're in bed and you want to look out the window, you can't. Well, with this you can. Now remember that second entry door gives us access to everything, and just like the 29BH, we have the same bedroom arrangement with its own little bonus walk-in closet. Check out this noise. I am a fan of this. Notice that motion activated light. We've got a built-in dresser, and the drawers are as deep as this top here. This has just tremendous drawer space, and it demonstrates something that we'll see repeated in the kitchen. Jayco's give you drawers to the floors. They don't waste potential space here. And, you know, dedicated coat hooks, clothing hooks, everything. They've nailed it. Now, if you add a TV for the bedroom, it's on this handy little quick release mount. So if you want to take a TV outside, you can. But what's nice is you put it in place, lock it down. It's super sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. Looking backwards. So again, by flipping the kitchen and the living room, they've given me a little bit different take on this. I really like the arrangement. I think it also helps keep the campsite cook a little bit isolated in their own little cutaway alcove right here without being in anyone's way. White Hawk's standard have an 8 cubic foot fridge freezer. For many, many years, White Hawk was really just the J-Flight Ultralite. And now, suddenly, this year, the 2018s, they just came out swinging with just some of the most original, aggressive, innovative floor plans from Jayco, who is really not known historically for being the progressive trailblazer product. But I can promise you, you're going to see a lot of people copying these floor plans. And in point of fact, I've already seen one of the wood skeleton trailer manufacturers that we carry here at Haylett RV copying this exact model already. How funny is that? I mean, the tires aren't even cold on this thing. So again, drawers to the floor, all plywood box constructed, which is part of the reason Jayco's able to offer twice the warranty. It's a bunch of little things that they do different. And we'll talk about construction after we're done looking at the layout. And I may do a lot of construction talk inside because it is just not camera friendly out there today. Now, this is something neat that both the 27 and the 29 White Hawks do. 29 BH, that is. With these dual, almost like a super shallow, short hallway, like extra pantry closets right when you walk in the door. So it's very easy to be able to use this as either linen space, storage space, anything really. It's super, super handy having all of that storage right there. Now, they could have kept the camper about a foot shorter. If they didn't put these in, because these are on both sides of the camper, they could have snuck the bathroom wall up right next to the slide, and they would have made the RV a little bit lighter, a little bit less money, a little bit shorter, but not enough to justify losing all that storage. Now, the bathroom is phenomenal. This is basically the same bathroom as the 23 MRB Murphy bed rear bath White Hawk, and that's what I like here. Is they came up with 2 or 3 modules, construction modules, if you will, and they're using them just over and over again to great success. They found things, what they did is instead of building a camper, they built rooms, and then sort of like Legos, they just kind of pieced them together in intelligent fashions. And they do have some complete unique floor plans, but by and large, you'll see, like this one shares things like the bathroom with a different one, and it shares the living room with a different one. You can see that there's a family resemblance here. Now, during the day, that little blue LED light isn't doing much for us, but at night, oh, buddy, does it brighten up in here. So it's a perfect night light. Now, that in conjunction with all of these slide accent lights, it's like having your own personal air traffic controller directing you to the refrigerator, if you're going to get a late night snack, to get to the bathroom at night, whatever the case may be. Porcelain foot flush stool, and you can stretch out, relax, and have yourself a great time here. We got plenty of leg room. The other thing we have is incredible storage capacity right here. That is the box for the 39-inch HD Furrion TV that we have in this, and it is dwarfed inside this mega cabinet. But what's great is we also have 4 of these giant full extension drawers as well. They went whole hog on storage space in this. And what's cool, you're saying, yeah, but they wasted that down there. That's the outside kitchen. And that's the other thing that I really think is just so awesome about this floor plan. And really only the Cougar 26 RBS has managed to achieve. Is in this style or family of floor plan, only White Hawk and Cougar have been able to include outside kitchens. Normally you'd have to go to the bunkhouse version of something like this from most brands to get an outside kitchen. Now maybe you don't care. And if you don't want an outside kitchen, great. I got a Rockwood and a Winnebago with your name on it. Maybe a Cherokee. I don't know. But the point is, we have a huge selection with a little bit of something for everybody. Now, I've got to do a battery swap, and then we'll learn about how she's put together. So to you, that just seemed like a 2-second transition, but to me, it seemed like a 20-second transition. You know, I'm ahead of my time. Well, I guess now I'm behind my time. Maybe I'm ahead, but only by a couple seconds. I'm not sure. I'm not that far ahead. Regardless, you don't care. How is it put together? All right. So the walls, the slide walls, the rear wall, the floor, they're all aluminum skeleton. Now the floor has longitudinal joists, meaning they run this way, and they're set vertically. And that allows them to do things like run a heat run through the floor, which is the most efficient heating method possible. That means that this should, in theory, maintain better interior temperatures, especially if you add the Glacier insulation package to a White Hawk. The difficult part about that is that it's nothing I can really show you. Pull one of my gloves off here. But what is kind of neat is that with or without the Glacier package, White Hawks have insulated slide outs. They have insulated slide floors as a matter of happenstance. Even a base level J-Flight SLX has that. Jayco's very good about making sure your slide flooring is insulated. Now what the Glacier Package does, normally this would have an enclosed forced air heated underbelly. Glacier Package leaves the enclosure there, adds a layer of dual-sided radiant thermofoil, batten insulation, so that you've basically you're more than doubling the insulation in the floor. Then up top here, layer that radiant foil, and additional layer of batten insulation that wraps around the nose as well, so there's not going to be an insulation gap up in your bedroom, because that would be stupid, now wouldn't it? But amazingly, sometimes those corners are cut. Usually good brands don't do that. Sometimes certain brands will surprise you though. Now floor decking. This is where Jayco's story really starts to separate itself with their 5/8 tongue groove plywood floor decking. Jayfeathers have a laminated floor, which is fine on a smaller camper. What Jayco has found through their research and testing and warranty rates is that a big RV with a laminated floor, they dislike the service record of it. And I've actually seen that happen a couple times, like Rockwood recently got away from laminated floor. I'm not convinced it isn't for similar reasons. Now, it wasn't like a 90% fail ratio, but even if it's 5% with the volume these guys sell, that's a lot. You can't even, I mean, you have to be really on the ball. You know, laminated floor is fine on a little camper. You start to get big and you got to make sure it's laminated and built correctly. It can still be done right. Ceiling here is vaulted. It's actually double vaulted inside and out. You've got double arch trusses. What I like about that is because the inside of the truss isn't flat and the outside is radiused, it means that you don't have a skinny insulation over here on the side. You have even insulation all the way through. And that means you're probably not going to see those condensation lines up here along the roof line where it meets the wall, because you have the same insulation as you have up here. The bed deck, I mean, even the bed deck is full plywood. And actually, that's, you know what? This is something I don't talk about a lot. I talk a lot about Jayco plywood, but you get under the side, you're like, well, dude, that's structure wood. Do you think I'm stupid? No, I don't. This is a different kind of thing, though. This is like, it's like an extra thick, insanely thick laminated floor plank right here that is incredibly strong. And they do that because slide floors are getting so thin that when the slide was coming in and out, the slide floor was actually buckling and bowing. And in a lot of older Jaycos, I do remember this. I never thought twice about it because that's how most campers are. But if the slide was in, a floor flush slide is actually slightly above the floor when it comes in. Well, if I stepped on it, it would buckle. This doesn't. You can walk all over this thing, whether it's supported underneath or not. It's a truck. It's awesome. So you're going to see different materials going on here instead of particle board drawers with a sticker wrap, which there's really nothing wrong with that. It's okay. This is just better. All plywood box constructed, even the front side of the drawer here. And these are all beveled and shaved off, so I'm not going to get a bunch of splinters. Hardwood cabinet doors and cabinet door frames. And the cabinetry is all pocket screwed. You can actually reach back here and you can feel where there's screws that hold these boards together. That lasts longer, generally speaking, than a stapled glued cabinet. Staple glued cabinetry is okay. It just depends on how long you plan to own a camper. If you're looking for something you're going to make the last camper, you should have it built like this. And I know for a fact this cannot be a particle board cabinet because you can't pocket screw a particle board. It will just shred and disintegrate. Then you got little things like a porcelain foot flush stool. You got things like real cabinet hardware. You can hear the difference between plastic and metal. You've got real tile backsplashes, nice stainless appliances here. You've also got plywood roof decking, which is another thing, and that ties into the Jayco Magnum Truss story. This has 50%, at minimum, this has at least 50% more weight rating on the roof than anything else in this class. Other than another Jayco, really, like an Eagle. Because they share the same Magnum Truss roof system. And it holds 4,800 pounds, guys. Now, some people argue that it's overbuilt, but I have seen situations where trees may have fallen on a trailer, and actually one of our customers had this happen. I've personally seen it. And that extra roof structure may have kept their family safe. You know, that makes a difference. The other thing is, if this is stronger and holds square better, then the whole box isn't going to twist as much. So the walls are going to maintain square, the floor is going to maintain square, the chassis is going to maintain square. Everything stays truer the stronger everything is. It is kind of a case of there can be one weak link to ruin something. And you're not going to find that here in a Jayco. I'm going to step outside. It looks like I got a little break in the snow, just some flurries. And we're going to make a quick pass on the outside. If you folks have more questions, definitely give us a call, because there's sure a lot to learn about one of these. And on these little flyby video segments that I put together, I know I'm not answering every single question, but I do want to make sure that we get the bulk of things out of the way. If this looks like it's going to be about the right product for you, then you give our team here at Haylett RV a call, because we only do everything. I don't care if you have trades, financing, I don't care where you live. We make deals happen, and we deliver RVs all over the place. Let's take a peek outdoors. And man, oh man, is that a looker. I don't know. There's a lot, and this is subjective, but I kind of feel like these White Hawks. This is the best looking trailer on the market. Just knockout look to it. So they standardized their front end compared to last year, which had a couple different front end designs. What it allowed them to do is include a big full pass-through, but also build in a dedicated slot for an optional outside picnic table. Now, obviously, we've applied it here, and we typically do, but sometimes Jayco will have one built in the yard, and they say, hey, you guys want to pick this trailer up? And go, yeah. And they're like, well, it doesn't have the picnic table. And I'm like, well, that ain't going to stop me. Now, over here, you see that little power outlet? That is there if you want to add like a little mini fridge like you have in your outside kitchen. And that's kind of a throwback to the origin of the White Hawk. That's something that they used to do all the time, was have a front little mini fridge. Now, there's so many outside kitchen models, they kind of just leave it there as an option. The cap is optional. It gives you that windshield. What's neat is the windshield is pre-installed from the cap manufacturer. That way, you know, they're specialists. That's the thing they do. Now, Jayco, they build excellent trailers, but they're not windshield specialists, and that is a windshield, not a window. There is a difference. Gently, be nice, tap on it like with your car keys, and then tap on one of those slide-out windows, and you can hear the difference. But it's okay that the side windows are not up to the same snuff as that nose cap window, because the front window takes way more brunt of abuse than anything else, any of the other windows on the coach. But, you know, all those little differences, like the plywood, the aluminum structure, the laminated slide walls that you can straight up hammer fist like a UFC fighter. No joke, you can really get friendly with those things. You ain't going to hurt it. You are not going to hurt those things. And then the different chassis on this. Those are all little factors that play into the fact that this has double the full coverage warranty, not just structural, of anyone else. Their warranty covers their structure, but it also covers the really expensive stuff like the air conditioner and the gas electric refrigerator and all your appliances and whatnot. Those are all covered too under Jayco's warranty. And what's nice is, God forbid you have a warranty need, dealers like me can contact Jayco direct to take care of stuff. Normally, what a dealer has to do with other brands is they have to, okay, for this we got to call the water heater guy, for this we have to call the fridge guy, and that slows the process down. Jayco's process generally allows us to get things back on the road quicker in the rare occurrence of anything major, but they really don't usually have major things. We don't have a big track record of, oh, the White Hawks are known for that. Generally, these things are pretty ace. I think the chassis is part of that. These ride on a different chassis. A lot of you have kind of poked fun at the fact that every single time I have one of these chassis, I explain how it's a high-strength, low-alloy HSLA steel frame. It's a Z-frame, not an I-beam, and it's made like an aircraft. And I'll keep doing it despite the fact that it's kind of become a joke in and of itself because it's such a critical thing. Generally speaking, the brands that I see have that frame are the ones that seem to have the best service records. Now, all the slide windows are UV tinted for privacy, and it keeps the interiors cooler, and they all open for airflow, even the slide side windows. You can put frameless on this, guys, but you're going to give up the airflow potential here, and it's a cost upgrade for something that's only a cosmetic benefit. You know, I'm going to be wrong no matter how I stock something, but if you really are just dead set on frameless, we can do it, but you're going to give up a lot of airflow and spend some money doing it. The framed windows like this, the reason frameless gained a lot of popularity is because these framed windows right here, in previous years, and some manufacturers still use lesser quality materials, they'd fade out in the sun. Jayco's just don't have that problem. They haven't had that problem for years because they're using better grade materials. But those are things that you can't see when brands A, B, and C are brand new. Those are things you can only see years after you buy one. So, you know, that's the difference. This is built not to look good now, but to keep looking good, guys. Black tank flush, outside shower, that rear corner. We have all LED tail and marker lights, which I think is something to really key in on. We are prepped for a backup camera. We can add those here at the store for the exact same money you can get one from Jayco. So if you're interested, we'll slap that on through our parts and service center, and you know, it's not going to cost you any more or less. Meanwhile, we're not price gouging folks who don't want it for the benefit of those that do. Now you've got two gas grill quick connects, because the outside kitchen on this has its own pull-out 2-burner stovetop. If you want to add a rear grill or have a second grill away from the awning, because this outside kitchen is protected by the awning, you can do that, because they also ran a rear bumper grill connect, which is kind of neat. Now let's look at this outside kitchen, because again, this is one of, there's a lot, but this is one of like 7 things on this model that specifically get me all jazzed up. Because to get an outside kitchen like this in a similar floor plan, you always had to go to the bunkhouse version. And if you don't like the outside kitchen, again, I got Rockwoods and Winnebagos that don't have it. But this is a cool feature, and there's a lot of couples who are looking for something like this. Now, it looks insanely high off the ground. Understand the trailer's not level. The nose is pointed downward pretty significantly right now, so the butt of the trailer right here is sticking up pretty far. It'll be a lot better when you actually have it set on a campsite. But this is strutted. Now I had to kind of assist the struts gently, pulling them in or pushing it in or pulling them out because of the cold right now. But you've got a dedicated cooktop or countertop, a real sink with a real drain that goes into a holding tank, and that's another thing on this. This has 2 30.5-gallon holding tanks, gray tanks. That's a neat little thing. It's got an excellent gray water capacity. And how you doing, old girl? Dad's mini fridge. You keep the barley pops on check, don't you, girl? Yes, you do. All right, so anti-slam entry doors, so that the wind or the grandkids or whatever don't fling those things against the side of your trailer and smash stuff up. Wider main entry door with handle, well, not just handle, but the extra large handle, which is pretty common at this class. There's very few super slide ultralight manufacturers who are going really chintzy with a little single hand grab handle. Wide stance axles and Goodyear tires. Let's chat these things. Wide stance axles help keep the trailer from wiggling back and forth. They also help keep the trailer from the tongue bouncing up and down when you go over bumps. That means smoother rides for those of you in the RV. Goodyear tires. They have the highest speed and load weight ratings of any tires out there. Like, one of the big concerns for a lot of folks is what quality of tires are on these things. And there's a phrase out there, China bombs, because there were some cheap tires used out there. And amazingly, there are still a few brands using bias ply tires. You know, the likelihood of you having that same problem here is you're going to have to pick up debris. Something's going to have to stab the tire on the road. And I don't care what brand tire it is. That can always happen, you know, even on your own truck or whatever. That TV mount we saw in the bedroom, here's its matching partner on the outside of the RV. It's easy to miss because it's black on black, and right now it's covered in grime, which is a good point. We don't do dealer fees at Haylett RV. So, like, this thing needs a bath. Well, it gets that. We don't charge you extra for that. We don't charge you extra for propane in the tanks or a battery or water and sewer hoses or electrical and water surge protectors so that your RV doesn't have a systems malfunction because of a power spike at the park due to an electrical storm or something. We show you how it works. You don't get charged extra for those things. We're not a fee dealership. We put our cards on the table. We try to be fair. And I can promise you, someone's going to offer something to you for $1 less than we will. But you're gonna get $1 less for it. That I can also promise you. We have fair deals here. So if this sounds fun, interesting, exciting, you found this useful, entertaining, whatever, give us a call. We are Michigan's largest independent RV dealership. My father started this place in '89, and he's still in the office about every day. We are family owned and operated still even today. And we look forward to meeting and serving you guys. So give us that opportunity. And if you don't buy from us, it's our own darn fault, not yours. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.